Hello, it is Reviews Day Tuesday, and it's the final Tuesday in August, which means it is time for me to talk about my August favourites. How has your August been, and how has your summer been in general? I've had a pretty good summer. We're moving into autumn now, and I used to be not so big a fan of autumn, but I don't mind it now. There's some good things that come in autumn. So I'm going to talk about some of my favourite things from this last month, starting, as I almost always do, with TV shows. A couple of TV shows that I really liked finished this month, so I want to mention those first. Firstly, Fargo Season 3. I was a big fan of this season. I still think that Season 1 is my favourite of the Fargo seasons, but I much prefer this recent season to Season 2. There were so many fantastic female characters, I mean more than have been in any Fargo before, and I also feel like this season's villain was pretty fantastic. And I think that's quite important. The other one is The Handmaid's Tale. I got very far behind in this and then watched the final few episodes all in one go, which turned out to be quite a good way of watching it. A really great high quality show, I definitely recommend it. Brilliant performances all round. I really want to get the book and read that, and I can't wait for Season 2. Another show I want to talk about very briefly is Craft It Yourself, which is a Channel 4 show. It's currently on More 4. Every episode the three presenters work to revamp a room in a different style, but pretty much it's just an excuse for a whole lot of craft and DIY projects. And if you like crafts and DIY like me, then it's just a very fun show to watch. You get a lot of ideas. And the final TV show I'm going to talk about this month is The Defenders. This Marvel Netflix series is definitely my favourite show this month. We finally see Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist teaming up, and overall I thought it was great. I felt like it lived up to my expectations. I thought the pacing was good, the story was quite good, I quite liked the scripts. I enjoyed being able to see all the characters together and being able to compare them. I found it easier to see the differences between them when they were all together as opposed to when they each had their own little series. I would say that the action sequences were perhaps not that great. They were a bit messy. It was often quite difficult to tell what was going on, which was a bit of a shame, but overall I thought this was great. You might be relieved to learn that I'm going to move away from TV shows now. I am going to move to films, or rather film, because I'm talking about one film. But the film I'm talking about is Interstellar, which I watched this month. Didn't really have many hopes for this film before I started watching it. I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest. It's a very long film, so I mean before I started watching it I think I just felt this could be a chore. And also there have been quite a few people in space films that have been successful in the past few years. But I'm happy to report that I very much enjoyed Interstellar and my fears were unfounded. I enjoyed the world and the premise and the story. It was a little bit different and a little bit interesting. So I would recommend Interstellar if you get a chance to watch it. Don't be discouraged by how very, very long it is. Now, a web series, I wanted to mention the Candle Wasters' new show, Happy Playland. There were 10 episodes and they were all released at once, so you can watch the whole thing right now on YouTube. It's a musical and it's the first Candle Wasters project to not be Shakespeare based. It's set at a children's indoor adventure playground. I would say that it's probably my least favourite of the Candle Wasters project, just because I'm such a big fan of what they do with Shakespeare plays. But I do like a musical web series, and also I was a fan of the different inventive ways that they told the story. Episode 4 is my favourite episode and I think a very good example of that. And finally, a place or two. Firstly, I saw the Star Wars Identities exhibition earlier on this month, as you may know. It's at the O2. It closes soon and I very much enjoyed it, seeing all the costumes and the props and reading all the tidbits of information. It's a touring exhibition, I believe, so if you get the chance to see it, I'd recommend it. And also this month I went to Cardiff, so my other favourite place is Cardiff Bay. Every time I go to Cardiff Bay I like it more. There's so much to see, and also it's the home to the Doctor Who experience, which is fantastic, and I went there as well, although the Doctor Who experience is closing soon, which is sad. So on that note, those are some of my favourite things from this month. As always, I would love to know some of your favourite things from this month, and if you have any thoughts on the things I have been talking about, I'll be back later on in the week with a Phone Friday, so I hope you have a great few days and I will see you soon.